It's 4 o'clock. Let's get this thing going.
Yeah.
How's everyone doing this afternoon?
Good.
Excellent. So, welcome to Startup Weekend Iowa City Demo Day. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jay Cooper. I'm an entrepreneur and ecosystem builder here in Iowa City. I do all sorts of stuff, Startup Weekend being one of those things. I kind of travel all over and facilitate these events, but I also have organized this event since 2018. So happy to be back once again, bringing 3 teams through the program this year. So excited to have all those presenters get up and do their thing. But before we get to that, I do want to introduce our judges. So we have our judge panel sitting right here. Why don't we give our judges a round of applause? So, like we've gone over a couple of times, we've got specific judging criteria that the judges are looking at today. First, validation. Did you get out and talk to customers? Are you actually solving a problem, and have you identified a specific target market? So, those first few boxes on the business model canvas that we talked about yesterday. So, those are important for this weekend. Secondly, execution and design. Do you have an MVP or a prototype? Are we going to see something really cool today during your presentation? Also, design matters. Is your product easy to use? Is it so easy to use that people will abandon whatever they've cobbled together to solve a solution to use your product as their solution? And then third, the business model. How do you plan on making this a successful business? Not just a side hustle, not just a hobby, but something that you could actually grow into potentially a multi-million-dollar business in the future. Again, are you solving a problem, having a value proposition statement, and is your idea unique? So not reinventing the wheel in the tech world or physical space or whatever you're doing this weekend. So this is how it's going to work. You're going to present your idea to our esteemed panel of judges. Each team will have 5 minutes. At the end of 5 minutes, that buzzer goes off, and we're going to switch into 3 minutes of Q&A. If you don't use all 5 of your minutes, that time, of course, gets added to the Q&A session. Judges will then select the top 3 teams, which there are only 3 teams, so you've all made the top 3. So we'll go through and select who they think is first, second, and third place, and then we're going to go have fun. I mean, we've already had a lot of fun this weekend, haven't we?
Yeah.
This has been fun. We'll go out and have our afties afterwards. So here is our pitch order based on when I receive emails from people. So first email at the bottom, last email at the top. So without further ado, let's bring up Zero.
Zero.
Yeah.
All right. And you have 5 minutes?
Sure.
Yeah. Cool. I'm ready. Okay.
Hi everyone, welcome to Startup Weekend 2022. My name's Ian, this is Brandon, David, Nicole, and we're Zero. We're going to take future developers from 0 to 1. So a little bit more about me. I'm a product designer, product manager, software engineer. That's what I'll talk a little bit more about. But I've gone through a couple of career changes in the last 5-7 years. But a couple of years ago, I went through a development boot camp. And coding is hard. I don't have to tell you that. But I wish someone would have gave me a little bit of a softer introduction to programming. The amount of times I wanted to pull my hair out and I didn't understand why can't I just figure it out, made me want to quit quite a few times. But as we all know, it's not something you can just pick up and go. But don't take it from me. This week we actually heard from 30 to 40 people in our customer discovery, and we continue to hear the same things. It's difficult to learn. Resources are fragmented. The learning curve can be intimidating. And I think we built a product that would have helped me and millions of other people in their first introduction to programming.
So we have created an MVP first version that helps to address those problems by making it easier, more accessible, lower the intimidating factor, help with retention, to help memorize and understand concepts, and foundation to help you really grow into whatever kind of code user or code programmer you might become. And this is taking the form of a PDF download. Next slide, please. And as a former web instructor at Kirkwood, I saw the problems that Ian identified several times. I'm a self-taught designer, and I struggled myself years ago. And so our idea is to kind of go old school, analog, because through some studies we found a 20% increase in retention and development through actually drawing or writing. So we would engage people with more interesting ways to get more senses involved into it. So it's not so much about me versus the technology. And we tested this weekend. We got some great feedback for iteration learning. And this is our archetype that we're expecting. Rated career changer, about 18 to 29, formal education or work experience, none to some programming. Of the 40-ish people we interviewed, 11 were coders and still had trouble with it. And so someone like this might be in that position where their role is changing, either they're looking for a new job or a new position. And we think that something like this would be very helpful for them.
The demand for software engineers is expected to grow from 27 million to 45 million people over a 10-year period, representing growth of 70%. Based on our research, we believe that 70% of new coders will be job changers, representing a total addressable market of 30 million people. Our content will be accessible, memorable, and foundational, and those attributes are hard to sell to customers. In order to demonstrate these values to customers, Xero offers some basic content for free. Beyond this, we plan to launch Xero at a per download price of approximately $10 per short course, and eventually move customers to a subscription model.
So our next steps are pretty easily laid out here. We're going to begin with iterating on our MVP that we provided you today. Our cost is really low at the beginning because we actually have 2 software developers on our team, Ian and Karan. They're both full stack, so we got it, 0 cost. Over the next 3 to 6 months, we'll add more courses, and then we'll begin partnering with our code camps, kind of creating this funnel from us to, the next step. We are the stepping stone for you. And then within the next year, we hope to have an online coding school. As of course, we have 2 software developers, so we'll be able to do it hopefully ourselves and keep everything really low cost and just increase our profits. So here's our team, 4 of us standing up here, and then Karan, as I mentioned, the other software developer, and Fuku is also helping with sales and marketing. We are Xero. We teach future developers from 0 to 1. Thank you.
All right, we have 3 minutes.
Well, great job, guys. I'm related to what you're talking about. I had a son go through Delta V a couple of years ago, so maybe you can kind of talk about how it fits within the context of other options to learn those skills.
Yeah, so part of what we focused on with the analog part was the memory retention. That was kind of like the driving force. When you open up your computer, it's really intimidating, right? So this is like that soft intro. From here, the ultimate goal would be to introduce coding with the computer in tandem. We'll start with our own bite-sized lessons, going back and forth with the paper. But then ultimately we build our own curriculum, and the next 12 months would be partnering with other places to generate revenue for us to build out the curriculum, and then eventually cut that off.
I'd like to add to that. We had some very long, in-depth conversations with software developers and people who've attempted and bounced off of it. Part of that connectedness is taken for granted because there are so many resources. It's not that we don't have resources, it's how to curate them and how to help people understand from my idea to making a real-world application and what that means for me as a software engineer going into the business. Those things are lacking in university teachings, it's lacking in book teaching and online. So unless you have a one-on-one guru or some other entryway point, we're helping to kind of help bring that world together to show people what the potential for this could be.
Can you talk about your competition? What is your competition and what is your advantage over them?
Our competitions, YouTube, Treehouse, Lambda School, university, right? But they're competition at different parts and at different levels. So your MOOCs, right? They're focused. You're already using a computer right then and there. Your universities are using O'Reilly textbooks, which are massive, text-heavy, dense, no images, no interaction. You know, there are places like Free Code Academy, but there isn't that analog part, and there isn't a roadmap to continue building out in the way that
Into the
we are.
ecosystem.
Yeah.
And also, many of those online schools, they don't advertise how many people do not stay or complete those programs. There's a lot of people who go in and never complete it.
Would you advertise that? Well, I guess my question going on is more so, yes, you've got those competitions, right? But then you've got an awareness problem. Because, you know, if I'm coding, I'm going to be searching for like boot camps,
Right.
new Khan Academy, things like that.
Right.
So how are you going to get these people to be aware of, first of all, the notion that doing this on paper is better than watching videos, and then two, how do you convert and convince people that you're
So through my interactions with Kirkland and other places, we think in the long term, getting into like middle schools or high schools would be a great place. But right now, our archetype of people who need it now, and we can demonstrate that it works. This is just one thing, right?
Yeah.
We can demonstrate that there's a better retention, that their emotional state's better, and that they're learning. It's not going to be faster, but that they're going to be learning hopefully better and building on that better. Like piano practice, things that require practice.
Yeah.
That's what we're hoping to do. It's not going to be coding in 10 days. It's going to be coding that you do more continuously.
Got it.
All right, that is it. Thank you so much. Hey!
All right. Wish we had more slides.
All right. Everyone get excited for this next presentation. The CEU Happy Hour. Five minutes?
Push this button.
Yep, right button is advanced.
All right. We are the A team at CU Happy Hour. Allison, Aiden, and Anshu.
CEUs suck. They're time consuming, along with the flights, time off from work you have to take, the food and lodging. After 7 years of schooling in debt, who would want to do this at the start of the post-grad life? Well, there is an option online, which is inexpensive and convenient. However, the thing is, with it, all the online options don't have an ability to network with other individuals in the same professions and the ability to share knowledge between each other. Oftentimes, these courses are also outdated and not relevant to the ever-changing industry given our rapid technological growth.
When we spoke to our audience, what we found is that what they were saying is that the current online content is lightweight, like he said, outdated, not current. The oldest one I found was on the National Athletic Trainers Association website. It was from 2011, so over a decade old. Location and travel costs. Craig and Carrie are married athletic trainers, and finding childcare so they can travel to in-person conferences is a big deal for them. They estimated they were spending about $5,000 each year trying to get their CEUs in person. And a lot of times the employer doesn't cover it, and they're giving up their PTO to go get the education that they need to keep their license and certification, which is insane. Why would the employer cover that? But when they do the online stuff, like I said, outdated, but they're also missing out on the interaction with other professionals. They're missing out on, connecting after the course and talking about what they've learned. talking about, hey, I saw a patient with this and this is what we did, but did you see a patient with this? How did you handle this? Because everyone is having different experiences. And we also crowdsourced online just over the weekend. This is what some of our customers said. I love an in-person class, but to be honest, I get so few Saturdays off, I don't want to give another one to getting my CEU credits. Most are just the same things over and over. They're expensive, they're expensive, they're expensive. So it's time for happy hour. We are CEUs with a twist. We're still online, but it's a little different. We're bringing in a social aspect. With our courses, you can either take it live through a Zoom, where you have the ability to chat, interact with your peers, and have a social hour afterwards to talk about what you've learned. If you're taking it on demand, guess what? There's a forum for that. There's an online forum for each course where you can post about what you've learned and can get continuous feedback from people who have taken the course just like you. Ask questions. Maybe you see something that you took your course on a month later. Hey, I finally saw this in the field. I want to talk to someone and ask them if I did the right thing or what they would have done differently. Go and post about it in your course page and see what comes out of it. And the collaboration is a big aspect of it too. I mean, let's be honest. You go to conferences, what do you do afterwards? You go to social hour with your friends, with your alumni, and you get to know each other. Our current competitors are out there. The prices range between $15 per one CEU, which is a 1 hour credit, but none of them allow the social aspect of it or the collaboration when they're done online. There are free options out there, but those are the ones that the content is bad or it's really outdated. So why CEU Happy Hour? We're the price of a happy hour. $9.99. That's about what you would spend for 2 drinks, right? Maybe not in Iowa City, but. Like I said, live, virtual, and on-demand options mean learning is on your schedule. And if you're not able to attend the live courses, you can collaborate, discuss, and get those connections that you would miss out on if you had done them in person. What is special too is that we want to be a low barrier entry for healthcare professionals who maybe want to start to share their knowledge with others. Let's say I'm, a 28-year-old, young professional. I've been working for 4 years, and I see a really cool case in my clinic. I want to share it with others and talk about what we did, but I have to pay to go to that conference to present about it. What if there was a low barrier entry for me to share valuable knowledge and improve patient outcomes with others? So how are we going to make money? Single course sales, like I said, $9.99 per CEU. It's pretty low cost. Subscriptions. So a probably mid-tier, probably $300 per year for unlimited CEUs. Come into every single happy hour you want or take any single on-demand course that you like. Full access to the social platform. And of course, sponsorships. Connecting with med tech companies, medical supplies, having them sponsor courses.
All right, judges, you have 3 minutes for Q&A.
All right. So interesting, when I saw the name of the company, I just thought it's the anti kind of the checkbox, effect of, CEU requirements. So, and I really like the peer-to-peer aspect of it. I think that's a powerful piece. Maybe you can talk a little bit more about how you're going to, we didn't quite get to the go-to-market, so maybe you can talk about how you're going to engage with your audience and generate customers here.
I would say our specific market as of now, according to our MVP, is like sports trainers and like physical therapists, which from our customer discovery, we found that they do need to get recertifications, right? But their platforms that they're using currently are just dragged to, they just don't want to do it, they do it because they have to, right? Which is where we come in. We have happy hour because we want our physical therapists, our sports trainers to come in to our platform and learn and to trade information, to make connections, to network, work with other professionals in their industry, and we are catering to that market, and we built our platform keeping that fundamental concept in mind.
So I feel like this is a no-brainer. especially when you talk about the current costs that is, that they have to incur. I'm really shocked that no one's doing this now and has a way to collaborate. My question is, have you modeled out how much money you're going to need to make in order to break even on a typical class, given the cost of a teacher and executing this? And so I'm kind of getting to pricing. How do you know that you're at the price the market will bear?
So there's a benefit to the speaker. When you come in as a speaker, you get 10 CEUs. So that's an advantage to them in that their cost savings on being a presenter. A speaker per diem, it ranges, but most, I would say, market range per diems for just going to present in in person or online ranges between like $100 and $200. So I mean, you even get 10 to 20 people to sign up, you've covered your cost for the speaker. And a lot of times, for a young professional, just getting those 10 CEUs, they're like, I'm good. Like, you don't even have to ask them if they want to be paid.
I would encourage, if you go forward with this, that you spend a little time doing some research around pricing to see if you can go up, and if there's value to see if you're charging.
And I can speak to that because I am an athletic trainer and I've been in the field for over a decade. And what I found is that either the employer covers some of the cost but not all, or they cover zero of the cost. And so if you're doing it out of pocket, so many people are relying on this outdated old material that they're seeing over and over and just getting sick of, where this is bringing in a social aspect for the young professional that they're going to be excited about.
All right, friends. Thank you so much. All right. 2 down. One to go. So if you remember, we were talking about this earlier, there was a type of pop back in the 80s.
Yeah.
That had
90s.
twice the
Jolt
sugar, or no, all the sugar, twice the caffeine.
Twice, that's it.
Kind of made us think of that, but this is not that. So you can explain what this is. Everyone, get on your feet. Welcome to Jolt Education. Cool. All right.
All right, we are going to start this last pitch in the best way possible with a TikTok. Let's make some noise! That's so cute. Hello everyone, my name is Jay Peterson and I recently completed my first year of teaching middle school science in a virtual classroom. And I started each class with a TikTok of the day similar to this. Got students smiling as they came in and we watched a TikTok either related to the content we were talking about or just a silly bird dancing. But this was one of the ways that I went to engage my students in my lessons. And I found that I was spending about 4 to 6 hours on average each week outside of my contract time to create lessons that were engaging, interactive, relevant, and fun for my students. And I'm not alone in that experience. In this weekend, we talked with over 25 educators and top pain points are the same. They don't have time. They're lacking time to create engaging lessons. They're also lacking a community of people to exchange those resources with. So you've all heard of gamifying education. Now it's time to talk about social media-fying education. With Jolt Education, we enable teachers to create bite-sized learning content that increases engagement and decreases time spent lesson planning. Here is a prototype of the student side of the program.
If the Earth was the size of this basketball, then the moon would be the size of this tennis ball. But I guess the next question would be, how large would the sun be at this scale?
So there's prompts that they can interact with. I get to see as a teacher real-time their answers.
Considering that the sun is 109 times wider than the diameter of the Earth, we're going to have to go outside. So the closest thing I could find in my area was actually this building. So if the Earth was 9.5 inches like this basketball, the diameter of the sun would be 86 feet. So it would be 8 or 9 stories of this building. So it would be like this center area all the way around.
They could draw on instead of typing, different ways to interact with the platform. The scale of the solar system in Minecraft, so meeting students where they're at. Swipe up to see the latest
This was the first image unveiled yesterday. It's the Deep Field, and they released more data today. I'll make a separate video on that. Next is the Southern Ring Nebula. Now this is the image that Hubble took years ago. And these are JWSTs. Let me zoom in. We can now see through the nebula and look at what they found. That's a binary star system. 2 stars
You did
orbiting
it!
around
Now
each
tell
other.
me one thing you learned about space and turn it in. That's what it looks like from the student side. Here's what Jolt looks like from the teacher side on the Teacher Hub. Up here we've got that search bar where you can search for that approved content created by teachers. I have it categorized based off of what it is. Is it a science lesson that meets that certain standard? Is it pink and it's a news story that you can bring in relevant information? Or is it just a funny bird dancing to give them a little brain break? Here's where you build your slides. You can pull in, I want them to be able to draw here. I want to put a picture here. And here's that stream of all those jolts, that full curated lesson that you will give off to your students. We've already shown some teachers this and they're so excited. They're saying that they think this quick platform or this quick format will lead to deeper thinking and questioning and really just engage your natural curiosity as a learner. Our stage 1 of our business model is to lean into this huge bank of resources and money for STEM education right now. So we've got all of these foundations that have money. National Science Foundation alone has $6 billion. We're going to lean into some grants right now to build that starting point of the business. And then stage 2 is we're going to adopt a teachers pay teachers model. If you don't know what that is, it's a marketplace where teachers create mostly physical resources like worksheets and they get paid for people will buy it. It's a marketplace. So we get 45% of those commissions, and those people will do that if I created and uploaded that lesson on Space. I could get paid for it. So I found I was using many of these tech platforms, but they just had features that each had one, and this Jolt will have all of them. The content database, the turnkey lessons, the short form content, it's all there. We're going to start by focusing in on STEM science teachers. That's where I'm at, that's what I know, but there's many, many teachers in the world. Go-to-market, there's many associations. We're going to partner with the EdTech Collaborative, newsletters, events, conferences, get the word out there, and additional partnerships with publishers, College of Education, and businesses in the future. Here's our amazing team. We're so excited about this, and I'm so excited to be the influencer of my classroom this coming year with Jolt Education. Thank you.
All right, judges, you have 3 minutes.
All right, okay, I'll go first this time. So what's your minimum number of videos or subjects you're going to need to get this off? And how much is that going to cost you? Is that going to be before you start looking at potential revenue?
That's a really good point. So what I was able to create this lesson off of to begin with was existing content that's already out there on TikTok and YouTube. So being able to either create partnerships with those companies, big companies that are creating the science content, and be able to cross-post it in that way, they gain more views on TikTok or YouTube. So start that way. We could have, like I curated a lesson that way. And then as we go, you would build content creators that are actually making these full lessons and build that database for teachers to pull from.
Or I wish I had had you as a high school, or my junior high science teacher.
No kidding.
So I was interested in your competitive side because I was thinking as you were presenting, how is this different than Pear Deck? And so that helped me to understand it. Like, it kind of goes to the question of, have you thought about whether you want to fully go to market with, and start your own brand and company around this, or would you consider licensing to any of these?
I think that's a really good thing to explore more of, like maybe there is a partnership opportunity with Pear Deck, but like I said, there's just, Pear Deck isn't offering, it's kind of an add-on for Google Slides already. There's no database of all these lessons that are already created and approved content. Like, I spent so many hours sifting through YouTube's, TikToks, all these things just to try to make these lessons relevant. And I often did use Pear Deck. Great tool, but it just didn't have that little feature I was looking for, that turnkey lessons and that database of information.
So I take it that the teacher or the instructor is your customer then? So what are you thinking for revenue generation? How are you gonna,
Yeah, so I think you would have access for free just to the content that's approved on there. So we've got all these like TikToks, but if you're wanting to get those full lessons, like I want to be able to, like, tomorrow I got a sub coming in, or I have no idea, I got 1 hour to come up with a lesson, you could search for this lesson that's already curated. And Teachers Pay Teachers, let's see if I have that up there, they do like a dollar, ranging from $1 to $20, you know, depending on how much you're getting. And teachers just throw that out there. Like 7 million teachers use TPT in the last year. So people like these marketplaces, but this is physical resources. It's not digital like videos. It's like worksheets that you would print.
If you're starting out with getting content from other people, are you going to focus on how to streamline the process of licensing and co-authoring these videos initially until you create your own content?
I think that's the next step, is kind of figuring out how that looks in terms of like being able to work with people that are already creating content. What does that licensing look like to be able to post it or use it in our steps too? But that's
do you know anything about that right now so far, or is that you still looking into it?
I mean, we looked in terms and conditions of TikTok, and there's like open source, like you can just pull it and use it. I mean, as long as it would be embedded and linked back to TikTok, it's not like we're gaining money based off of what they're like producing necessarily. But so it would start with stuff that's already made, and then go into having our own content from there is the idea.
And with that, that is
Thank
the
you.
end. Thank you so much. All right. Those were our 3 teams. Let's give our 3 teams another round of applause. So, we are going to go, the judges and I, into the other room and deliberate. And we will come back in just a short while with the results. So, feel free to enjoy food, beverages. We've got, I think, plenty of cider and beer left for those who are of age. So, enjoy yourselves. We'll be right back. Congratulations, you did it. Give yourself a round of applause. We always do this every time. What did you learn?
It's hard. I think we just said a lot can be accomplished in 54 hours.
That's right. Yes.
How cumbersome healthcare is.
What?
How cumbersome healthcare is.
Oh, how cumbersome healthcare is. Yes.
I would turn that into a lot of opportunity all over.
That's
all
good.
kinds of industries.
Yes.
I learned that ed tech is thriving.
Yeah.
We didn't even plan this to be an ed tech event, but then all the ideas just kind of, because Mark was here, and just influence is just radiating.
Vibes,
Mark
tech
is the
vibes.
influencer.
Anyone else? What did anyone else learn? Any other deep insights? So, I want to thank the people who made this event possible again, because without them, this wouldn't have happened this weekend. So, thank you to the organizing team, Liz, Nicole, and Stephanie. I could not have done this. I can't do it by myself. I'm getting too old for that. So thank you so much for all of your help and getting food, ordering food. That's the big thing.
Great food.
Yes, great food. Stephanie.
Great stuff.
Thank you to our mentors from this weekend. Curry, Mo, Nathan, Mike, Eric, Emily, Mark, and then Corey was here yesterday. Dawn couldn't make it this weekend, but she's here in spirit. So let's give our mentors a round of applause. And thank you again to our judges. Give them a round of applause. Maybe you applaud them before I give you the results. And thank you, of course, to our sponsors, caterers, and vendors. So many of them here. I'm not going to read them all, because you guys can read them. Give our sponsors a round of applause. Now this is the part you've all been waiting for, the winning team. So we're going to go third, second, and first. So, give me a drum roll. For third place. 0.
Okay, so first of all, I think we would all agree up here that this was really, really hard. We felt like all 3 of the teams were really strong right up there. So it could have been any way, really. And they all, they just all had really good, not only problems identified, ideas, and you guys all got pretty far along on building out these ideas and getting them to market. So that was really cool. Anybody want to say any general comments?
I agree. Startup weekends generally produce bar specials and parking ads and ideas like that. These were way more than random ideas. They came in with good problems that needed solving. They've been pre-qualified, and you had some pretty powerful ideas. So I think the fact that there were only 3 teams was totally misleading. If there were 50 teams, these would be the top 3.
Okay, so for Zero, really good customer discovery. You talked to a lot of, I'm trying to get the Zero people on the list. You talked to, there we go. I was looking at David, I'm like, okay. You talked to a really good number of people. You had very credible, you conveyed what they would need credibly. It was very believable. You had a good, strong, minimum viable product that was clear for us to understand. So that was excellent. You defined the problem well. We believe that you don't have competition out there that's doing directly what you're saying. And you had worked through the go-to-market strategy, the pricing model pretty well already. So I think we just need a little bit more time to get more of the go-to-market strategy behind you to learn about that. But the MVP overall was well thought out.
Great job. All right, we need another drum roll. Joel Education.
All right, Jay, great work up there. And who else was in the team? Okay, awesome. Yeah, you guys, great work for this entire group. You had a really good convincing customer problem, identifying the problem, and it's really clear when you present it out to us, we understood exactly what happened. You had good customer insights, competitive insights, where you had that 5 blocks, right, where you had these competitors and their specific functions or offerings, right? So we could clearly see what you had that they didn't have. The MVP was also amazing. The whole TikTok thing and letting us go through the workflow of what that lesson looks like when the kid takes the quiz and what you see as a teacher. That was great. So really good work. What we had some questions around was the timing of when are you going to launch this product, right? In order to have this minimum viable product, you're going to have this critical mass of content that you're going to need to have. And whether you get it from TikTok or existing social media channels, you're right that it's free, right, to share these videos with your friends, but as soon as you start commercializing these videos, like where you start to make money off of these videos, right, those royalties, things like that, it's going to get really more complex. So I think that's where you want to start to look at, right, if you're going to start building that initial base with these pre-existing videos and partner with other people. The other part is the target market, right? So you started off with you had these, total available addressable market, right, with the STEM teachers, right? I think there's also another portion of that, the smaller portion, that is going to be open to using social media and leaning on these, right? And then there's going to be the traditional teachers that will be less comfortable with social media, more in the traditional education route. So when you identify that target market, I think there could be more details that you're going to need to work on to really find what's your right target market size as well as audience. But overall, great work. To the rest of the group too, great work. That was really impressive. And again, it was really hard to pick 1, 2, and 3 this weekend. You guys had all amazing projects.
First place, CU Happy Hour.
So congratulations. We love the process that you went through and the validation, the fact that you had a complete business model, that you had a go-to-market strategy, and so forth. I think it was probably your value proposition that was the most swaying. That peer-to-peer aspect, it was clear, distinct, it solves a problem in the market. So congratulations on that. we thought it was really helpful that you had insider perspective in tackling this problem. So the fact that you've experienced it as a continuing education providers yourself. And then the third, I think, is that there's existing revenue for the whole CEU thing. So even though you may have some work to do on pricing or how you're going to generate that revenue, there's a good base of investment or money being spent in that area that you can displace. So we congratulate you and look forward to you continuing to do your work beyond Startup Weekend, and looking forward to seeing where all these teams are going to land. So great job.
So thank you, hashtag Startup Weekend. We do have, of course, asks and things that are coming up in the future. So if you enjoyed what you experienced this weekend and you want to help out with next year's event, or potentially with this winter's online event, just come talk to me. I'll be around. I'm going to head over to the happy hour with the rest of you. So we'll be doing that. The next event is coming up, Startup Weekend Iowa Online. So we do, every January, we do a complimentary event to this that's all online. So from wherever you are, figure it's the dead of winter, no one wants to go outside to go do stuff, so why not spend a Friday and Saturday inside doing a little startup stuff. So that'll be in January of 2023. The web address for that is swio.online. Tickets won't be available for that until probably October. It is a free event as opposed to this one because we're online. You have your own food in your own kitchen, so we don't have to buy that. So it's always kind of a fun event. We had, this past January, had about 80 people participate. We had 7 teams, 8 teams, so it was a fun event. We also have several other opportunities to connect with other entrepreneurs in the community. 1 Million Cups Iowa City and Iowa City Open Coffee take place every Wednesday morning right here in Merge, so if you've never been to that, definitely consider joining us. Open coffees from 8 to 9, that's kind of a networking over coffee. You just find someone to talk to, make a new friend, that sort of thing. And then 1 Million Cups Iowa City have presentations just like this, where people get up, tell us about their business model, and the community gives them feedback on their business model. So it's a great opportunity. And if any of the teams are interested in presenting at that, just let me know. We also have a couple of opportunities to take this one step further. Builders and Backers program, the next cohort of that will be, we have a current summer cohort, the winter cohort will probably be October?
I think we're the next one in January.
Okay. Is that when the applications will be open, or?
Details to come.
Details?
Summer.
Okay. So that, keep on the lookout for that. If you're not subscribed to ICAD's emails, that's always on there. And then, of course, the University of Iowa's Venture School program, which allows you to take a deeper dive into the business model canvas. And, of course, there are prizes at the end of that. So, Scott, you want to say a word about Venture School? Or?
Yeah, Venture School is taking this approach and spreading it out over 7 weeks. So it's going to be immersive. We tell people it's about a 20-hour-a-week investment in doing it. So by the end of Venture School, we're trying to get people to the idea of whether they have a go or no-go decision with their business model. So
well, we have a wide selection of opportunities for you to keep going with any of these ideas. Because seriously, this is the best showing I've ever seen from one of these Startup Weekend events, and I've been involved with this since 2015. So,
and great job. When does that next Venture School start?
The fall. Yep. It's going to be starting in October and running up to short of Thanksgiving.
Oh. I highly recommend Venture School for any of these teams.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, like I said earlier, on Friday, Techstars is the worldwide network that helps entrepreneurs succeed. You are now part of the 400,000 or so participants that have taken part in one of these events since 2009. Events, I mean, almost every country on earth has had one of these events. Almost 1,500 cities. So you are among friends, having gone through this. So, yeah, and what are we thinking? Donnelly's?
Yeah.
The patio, because the sun actually finally came out for the first time this weekend.
Nice.
So, excellent. Thank you so much. I've had a fun time facilitating this event this year again. So thank you all, and I hope to see all of you at our after party. And if you have questions for the judges. Judges, maybe you'll stick around for a little bit or join us at Donnelly's, so you're invited as well. So thank you all so much, and we'll see you hopefully again in January for Iowa Online. Thank you so much.
Let's hear for Jay. Thank you, Jay.